Good afternoon. How are you today, kid?
I sort of missed you.
La, la, la.
I sort of missed you
Of course
until you opened up your mouth and had to remind me about the last time we did a show together. The Mets were in first place.
Right.
And now they're buried.
Yeah.
And now they're dead.
7 games out, I think it's the number 10. Let me
That
just
is
double
correct.
check.
No. You don't need to double check.
I'll just
I'm
double
here
check
for you.
to make sure we're accurate.
7 games out and D-E-A-D dead.
Oh, here, 61 and 63, 2 games under 500.
Yep.
And they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, it's right.
Dead.
They are 7 games out of first place.
Now, as much as
Wow.
I say they're dead,
How did that happen?
I'm not one to give up. And because I'm not one to give up, I will say it loudly, I will say it proudly, and I want you to enjoy it. Because every single one of you listening who roots for the New York Mets has to feel this way because our season is on the line.
Can I say it for you?
Go ahead.
Mets fans for Yankees.
Yes.
That's right.
Now get it done. Get it done because the New York Yankees haven't lost a baseball game since the Field of Dreams debacle.
Right. A game they should have won.
You were on vacation when that game happened.
Yeah, I was watching it. That's right. Well, listen, yeah, for the next 2 nights, listen, much like it was about a month ago, you're a Yankee fan because the goal now, and it's not unreasonable. You saw what the Yankees did in coming back from the 10-game spot that the Red Sox built against them, and now they're only 4 out of the division lead. I think most people think they're going to win the division at this point, but clearly get in as a wild card team, worst case scenario, as of right now in the moment, is can the Mets find somehow, some way to get it within 3 going into the last 3 games of the season when you play the Braves head-to-head?
Relevant baseball. There are 2 problems here. Number one is the problem that we're not going to discuss, and that's, are the Atlanta Braves going to cool off at some point, even after they're done playing the New York Yankees? But the more pertinent problem is, are the New York Mets capable of actually turning this around? And I am so sick and tired of hearing, but they play the Marlins and they play the Nationals. You still have to beat those teams.
Right. They didn't beat the Pirates before the break or after. They didn't beat the Marlins when they went down and lost 3 out of 4. So the Mets aren't in a spot because of how they've played of any game being, that's a win.
Well, and also they're in a spot now, Craig, where they have to win all of these games. Like when they play those lousy teams, they can't just win series, that cute little, hey, let's win series. No, they need a 9-game winning streak. They need what the Yankees are doing right now. And I ask you this question, and I already know the answer. Do you think they're capable of that?
No.
Of course not.
No, because they haven't been good all year.
All year.
It's not as if the Mets were playing lights-out ball in April and May, and they just have to rediscover the magic. We talked about it the entire season. Their offense has sucked all year long.
All year.
And they were in first place more as the byproduct of no one else in the division being any good.
That was a part of it, but
It
they
was
were
like
also surviving by playing above 500 baseball. They have completely fallen off the rooftop. And I have to admit, maybe I'm negative, maybe it's Robertitis, but never once did I think it was going to come to this.
Yeah, 7 games out with how many games? 40, whatever it is to play?
Yeah, like I never thought that the New York Mets. Why do you find it? Why?
It's just so funny
Why is it
because
funny to you?
It's funny.
Why? Why does this make you laugh?
I'll tell you why. Because it's almost inevitable. It's almost inevitable because of you.
Because of me.
Yes.
Now, I am the bearer of blame for the Met collapse.
It's just weirdly
How
almost
is that?
inevitable
How?
where there was this certain amount of, I don't know, we call it douchiness where I come from, of we're in first place, you're not, doesn't matter what the record is.
Correct. Because they were in first place.
Oh, I'm going to a parade on the Brooklyn Bridge. Oh, no, I'm not.
Never
Sorry.
said any of that. I was never douchey or arrogant with the Nets. I was never douchey or arrogant with the Mets. In the moment, yes, I am allowed to be excited. Met fans were excited that for 90 days, or whatever the number turned out to be, we watched a first-place team.
It's going to be like a Disney movie. It's when Disney decides one day to make a movie off the 2021 baseball season, they might call it 90 days. And it's the 90 days that Met fans enjoyed being in first place, playing just good enough to be a couple games, 4 or 5 games, which seemed like it was always in that little window, 3 to 6, whatever it was, of being in first place. And then something happened. And we call it, where I come from, DNA. Much like I'm a diehard Jet fan, as you are.
Yes.
That's the one thing we do have in common.
Yes.
And when Lawson goes down for the year,
Yes.
that's us being Jets.
Yeah, it felt that way.
Right?
Yes.
That's like,
Yes.
we can't, the prosperity doesn't know us.
We're not allowed good things.
Right. Like, here's the guy that, by all accounts, I know it's only the summer, but everyone that covers the Jets for the last 20 years said they've never seen a guy
Right.
as dominant as he has been. Made Mekhi Becton look like a kid.
And
supposedly.
personally, this was the offseason move I love the most,
Yeah, we
just
all
as a
loved
Jet
it.
fan.
A legitimate edge pass rusher. We got our guy. Granted, he had 2 ACL injuries prior to that, and he's been money good with what he said about coming back from this injury. This is a flesh wound, if you know me. I'll be back. We start now. Whatever. He's not playing for more than a year, right? But when it comes to the Mets, and I've lived that life. See, I have the benefit. I'm the only guy in town. I have the benefit of having the experience of being a Met fan.
Yes, you have. Yes.
And
yes.
for those of you over the course of the better part of this spring that suggested that little old me was in some weird way a mush, a bearer of bad news.
It was suggested.
A guy that you wanted to put goat horns around his neck because
they were deserved, yes.
I joined the Yankee fandom and you felt as if I brought the bad things.
Right.
I mean, not for nothing, but I'm the bearer of nothing but good things.
Wait a second. So you have completely flipped on the Yankees now?
No, I'm a Yankee fan all year.
No.
But I'm the guy that's bringing the dubs.
Yeah, but wait a second. You were also the guy who called it boring baseball for months and months.
You're welcome.
You're also the guy that said this team has, quote, no soul.
You're welcome.
What do you mean you're welcome?
Held them accountable.
Right.
Held them accountable. Told them what they were doing was unacceptable. Change it up.
Right.
And then we brought Cash from on. He said, "Okay, Greg." And then we brought Boone on. He goes, "You're right. We have no soul. I see what you're
Do
talking
the Yankees
about."
have a soul right now?
You're damn right they do.
When did they get that soul?
They got that soul right around the All-Star break, but the trade deadline. But the trade deadline cemented it. And I'll tell you what, you want to talk about soul, all jokes aside, Velasquez is soul. Velasquez, the kid who's born here,
Right.
raised in the borough, right?
Right.
And after getting was going 2 for 4 the other day and making a really nice defensive play. Rizzo makes a great, catch for him to get out of the game. Game's over. Velasquez, they go, "Where are you going after the game? Like, where do you stay?" He goes, "Well, Manhattan's expensive. I'm going back to my mom and dad's
I'm living
apartment."
with my parents, yeah.
Yeah, he's like living with his mom and dad. It's like the Jeremy Lin thing.
Yeah.
And the kid's been great, right?
And the fact he's a local guy, it's a great story, but that's not the reason why the Yankees have a soul.
They
He's
have a
one of
soul
the
because they're
reasons.
winning.
Yes,
and winning
yes.
equates to
And
leadership
Craig,
and soul.
What annoys me and depresses me at the same time, and you did this, I did this, we all did this.
Yeah.
Throughout April, May, and June, during the 90 days, the glorious 90 days, is we waxed poetic about the Mets' chemistry.
Yes.
Oh, they've got great chemistry. They're having fun playing baseball. And look at the boring old Yankees. They don't have fun. When the truth of the matter is this, chemistry is overrated. It was a terrible subject in school, and it's not the reason teams win. Like, you called the New York Yankees boring. You weren't wrong.
Right.
We said, boy, the Mets are having a lot of fun. They all like each other. We weren't wrong. But at the end of the day, you need to perform. And as much as you may like each other and you may be buddies and support each other, that crap means nothing if you can't perform. Here is the simple answer. The New York Mets have not performed, and the New York Yankees, and there's a myriad of guys to go through, some guys who have stepped up, some guys who have finally performed to the back of their baseball card, they have performed.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
Best record since July 6th. And now it's the exact opposite, right? Like, the Yankees are down a run. You're like, no problem. We'll figure it out. Whereas 2 months ago, the Yankees were down a run. I was the guy saying, ugh, here we go again. Is there anything good on Netflix tonight? The Yankees are down 2 runs in the 4th. They're not coming back. And I asked Rojas about that on Friday. Like, was there ever a time this year when, if you're down a couple runs since your offense has essentially been non-existent, where do you see the guys in the dugout and it's like, ugh, we're done? He goes, yeah, I have seen that actually.
Right.
He referenced one particular game
Right,
in Miami about a month ago. But, yeah, listen, losses sometimes become like I don't want to use viruses because we're going through the pandemic stuff, right? But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Sometimes it's like, I get it, so you get it, so he gets it. And all of a sudden you're 7 games out. You went from, think about this, it's almost impossible. In the last month, The Mets have basically pulled the Red Sox.
Yeah, they've collapsed.
Right?
And the Atlanta Braves being red hot have helped. I mean, obviously.
Absolute collapsing.
And you know what's sick about this collapse? And this may pain you, but I have to bring this up.
Yeah.
This reminds me of something we all experienced a decade ago.
It's like the president in Superman 2, right? Where the trio comes down.
That wasn't going to be my comparison.
And he gets on a knee right away. And he pledges his loyalty to Zod. It's like, you're the president. Act like it.
That's the comparison you have?
That's the best I got. It's Monday.
Here's my comparison.
It's a solid comparison.
Is it?
First, the other guy steps in,
sense.
pretends to be the president, and Zod goes, no leader of any kind of planet I've ever seen would kneel so quickly. And then the real president goes...
Who's pretending to be the president of the Mets?
Well, then the real president goes, well, listen, you may be able to take me down, but you'll be no match for Superman.
Wait a second.
And then the whole thing.
So were the Atlanta Braves Superman and the Mets are the fake president?
No, I have no idea what the reference is at all. I'm just giving you a reference of bad leadership. That's all.
My comparison is this is Victor Cruz all over again. This is the New York Giants against the New York Jets on Christmas. They were the same team, right? The Jets lost, and it happened on that moment when Kyle Wilson couldn't track down Victor Cruz. The Giants went on to win a Super Bowl. The Jets haven't sniffed the playoffs since.
Right.
On July 4th, 2021, the Mets won the first game of a doubleheader. It was epic. Pete Alonso versus Aroldis Chapman. The New York Mets were 8 games above 500. The New York Yankees dropped to 500. The Yankees won the second game of the doubleheader, and they have, for the most part, taken off since. Yeah. And the New York Mets have collapsed. So the line of demarcation is, oddly enough, that day at Yankee Stadium, where Met fans were as high as they can be.
Douchey.
We douchey.
I mean, a little douchey.
Stuck it to the Yankees. We're feeling good. And the Yankee fan wanted Aaron Boone fired. It's his fault. Get rid of him. And can you imagine that a month and a half later, we are sitting where we're sitting now?
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
It really, I wish the Mets were more competitive, so at least we could both be happy going into Labor Day. But if I have to carry the torch of happiness for us.
Oh, you're going to carry it.
I'm your Huckleberry.
You're right now. I hate to tell you. Now, this doesn't mean I'm giving up. I still watch every game like it's the World Series. I'm going to be glued to Yankees Braves with my Yankee fictitious hat on. So I never give up. I want to make that clear.
Yeah.
Look into my eyes when I say
that's not true.
I don't give up.
You're lying to the audience.
How is that a lie?
Because I read your tweet.
That I believe the season's over?
Yeah. That's called giving up.
No, it's not.
You can't say the season's over, but
true.
I'm not giving up.
You gave up on the Yankees.
I've never given up on the Yankees.
Do you want me to find the audio of that?
Find the audio of me saying the Yankees are done.
You've said
I think I said the wild card's still available for us, but I think the division might be over.
Also, and this still pisses
but
me
this
off.
isn't about me.
You also attempted to shake my hand and congratulate me and the Mets on winning the National League East. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
And I refused the handshake.
I'll give you that. You did. You did. You did. You did. You did. You did. You did.
Thank you.
That being said, what was my point a moment ago?
Superman?
No, the one I just made. What did I just say? Oh, yeah, Evan gave up. Yeah, you gave up.
No, that is BS.
Listen,
I won't
Evan,
stand for that.
Evan.
I have an opinion, dude.
You cannot say, on one hand, the season is over.
It's my opinion.
And on the other hand, say, but I'm not giving up.
Craig. If I go to every game and watch every game and care about every game, how am I giving up?
You don't think that's possible
because
for them to come back?
I think they're dead. You want me to lie?
No.
You want me to lie to the audience? You want me to lie to you?
It's okay to give up.
That's not giving up.
I mean,
giving up means I'm not watching anymore and I'm done.
No, I'd say we're defining it differently.
How do you
define
define
it?
it?
To me is I don't think there's any possible way my team, who I'm still going to support and go to games, has any chance of actually getting into the playoffs.
Craig.
Yes, you gave up.
Do you think the New York Jets are going to make the playoffs this year?
Yes, I do.
Stop it.
Why?
Now you're antagonizing me.
Yes, I do.
Do you think the New York Knicks can win the NBA title next year?
The title?
Yeah, no, the title.
I got to think about that.
Kemba.
It's on the table.
Oh, it's on the table?
It's on the table.
All right.
Once I make it to the postseason and I win the midseason tournament, it's on the table. It's on the table. All right, listen, we got lots to do. Obviously, Evan's given up, but he hasn't.
I have not given up.
We'll let the audience define that.
I have not given up. I have stayed up every night on my vacation until 1 a.m. watching the same tease that the New York Mets perform on a nightly basis. I'm going to be there this week. In fact, you'll be there with me, too.
Yeah.
I will be there.
Can we go to a Yankee game instead? We have to go to a Met game on Thursday?
Yes, a Met game.
Yeah, we are. We're going to the Met game on Thursday. Guests of SNY. So I guess we'll go.
Yeah, because Craig's getting free food in a suite. So of course he's going.
I told him, if there's no Shake Shack, there's no Craig. I'm out. Like, everyone's worried about what time I'm leaving the game. We'll get to it later on. And there's no answer. Is there Shake Shack in the suite or not?
Well, I just think it's embarrassing for you to go to the game
Well, you're
and leave
there,
early.
but you're
I'm not.
there.
Am I leaving early?
No, right. So-
Because I don't give up, Craig.
No,
if
you
it's
gave up.
12-0 Giants, I still won't leave early.
it's okay.
They're playing the Giants. just so
I'm
you
here
know.
to hug you. I'm going to give you a big hug. I accept you giving up. I don't blame you.
I'm not giving up.
But you're still going to go. You're going to go watch a team you've given up on.
I've always told it like it is, whether you agree with me or disagree. My opinion right now is that the Mets are dead.
Yes.
There you go.
Yep.
Swallow it, eat it, and then make a bowel movement with it.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Can you take that back?
No.
877-337-6666. We got all the baseball for you. By the way, the Yankees actually play tonight against the Braves. Jordan Montgomery's pitcher. We got a whole bunch of Yankee stuff for you. We got a lot of football because I'm trying to figure out, as great as Zach Wilson has looked, and looked really good. Obviously, I know it's 2 touchdown passes. It's a tight end you're not going to see a lot of necessarily in that same role come regular season, blah, blah, blah. But the kid has looked competent, if nothing else. If you're a diehard Giant fan, do you want to see Daniel Jones? Is that a guy you'd like to actually see playing more than just a quarter coming up this week? Or are you okay as a Giant fan with the fact that I had a terrible second-year quarterback. I'm a 74 in Madden, and I'm not playing at all in the preseason.
I was waiting for you to cite the Madden number.
Like, what are we doing? Like, if you're a Giant fan, what are we doing? He can't rest on his laurels. We'll get into that, too. 877-337-6666.